Define those travels, and those travels have been long travels as it happens. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Gogletites, Goglings, Gog Peoples, Gogorifics, and all that kind of good stuff. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to episode 100. That's right, 100 of Pen and Pixels. This is my 100th stream on GOG. Technically 101st, because I did actually do a stream of No Man's Sky some months ago that was not necessarily Pen and Pixels, but pretty close. This is episode 100 of Pen and Pixels, and it is really exciting to have Howls into the Night with Night Howls. Remember? Yes, I know. But yes, it is a pleasure to be here with everybody. It's a pleasure to be able to do 100 episodes. It is hard to believe, folks, but it has been since late 2015. September 2015 is when I actually started over here, and it has been a lot of fun since then, and I am back with you guys today for episode 100. This is going to be a special stream, and I'm going to explain why in just a minute. Before I do that, if you haven't done so already, thank you, Takanji. If I haven't done so already, if you have not done so already, please make sure to follow the stream. Please make sure to follow the channel. Please also sub to the channel, because GOG has some awesome emotes produced by our fearless leader, Outstar Walker, recently back from TwitchCon, so you guys should do that. And also to support the GOG not only to support GOG, but also the stream team as well. Also, make sure to check us out individually, because a lot of us have our individual streams and Patreons and subsystems and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're able to check that out as well, that would be much appreciated. So tonight we are wrapping up Star Trek Judgment Rites. I only have one mission left to do, so I should definitely get that finished tonight. And then, because it is episode 100 of Pen and Pixels, I thought it would be appropriate to do a reading, a story, since this is based upon stories, based upon story and narrative in games. So I'm going to do a reading from a short story of mine from a while ago, actually, which hopefully you guys will enjoy. And then if there's any time left after that, I may get started on Vaporum, because starting next week, I'm definitely going to be doing Vaporum, which is going to be a good time. But I'm not going to do that. It depends on time frame. I don't want to do that with like 5 minutes left, then I start a new game. So it depends on how much time we have left over the next 3 hours. At the top of 7 o'clock p.m. my time, I'll be giving way to Chrono Wolf, who is going to be playing a new release called In the Shadows on his Night Howls show. So that is what we're looking at going forward, but that is what we have planned for today. So let me get rid of this. Oops, hold on a second. Let me get rid of this by doing that. There we go. Good to see everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome. And yes, so now I do have a streamer intro, one of X5's memorable streamer intros that he produced, and this is a doozy. So I wanted to make sure that I gave it proper credit. I'm going to do this introduction, and then we will get started with Judgment Rites as we wrap stuff up as well. So here is the relax, X5, relax. I'm getting to it right now. So here it is. No news cap. Oh, you wanted me to switch to the new. I don't have it close to hand, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, X5. I don't have my news cap close to hand. I thought you meant, I didn't understand what you meant. No, I do not have my news cap close to hand. Sorry, you're going to have to put up with my Hartford Whalers cap instead of my news cap. Apologies. I didn't know that's what you meant. He's referring to the fact that I normally wear my gray and black cap, but I don't happen to have it close to hand as well. So there we go. All right, so here we go. Define those travels as you can. And with so, we take a moment to gaze back in time. On September 29th, 2015, there was a new addition to the GOG stream team, a new member, a man who is truly outspoken, verbally and lyrically, yet articulate too. Let me be clear, this is X5 saying this, not me, okay? Of many talents and skills, yet with a big heart, always ready to stand up for what is right. With many voices, as he is a master of the dungeons. Oh, thank you. Full of adventure. With his signature marks, his beloved news cap, which I'm not wearing, I'm wearing instead my Whalers cap, and the feathered quill, he came with adventures, inspiration, and dice. To show us how to really play D&D, to show us how RPGs are really played, and his name was Arvin Eleron. Empowered with inspiration and love for adventures, he took us into space, the final frontier, to the United Federation of Planets and Starfleet as we boarded the USS Enterprise. Beginning Pen and Pixels, the first episode of Pen and Pixels with a fine celebration of 25th anniversary of Star Trek, known more commonly as Star Trek 25th Anniversary. And that's true. That was the first ever game that I played on this channel. Beginning Beginning Pen and Pixels. I said that already. As time progressed, Arv only realized GOG needed D&D, and a group of 3 was born. The 3 adventurers with Arvin Elrond as the dungeon master, their storyteller, Pyron Jade as Greta Goldenfire, Dark Saber 2K as Celsigmar, and Screaming Joypad as Ura Ash. I should also say that Fleos and Pyman and Chrono Wolf made cameo appearances on this as well. In fact, so did 8-Bit also make cameo appearances on D&D. And with such adventures of RPGs and D&D, Treasure Tuesday was born. But in the present, on October 24th, 2017, at 22 hours CET, 1400 hours MDT, 1600 hours EDT, 20,000 hours or something, 2,000 hours UTC, we celebrate that as we shall endeavor to succeed. As it is the 100th episode of Pen and Pixels, but alas, the final mission on board the USS Enterprise along the great crew and, of course, James T. Kirk, Captain Wilson will be finishing and wrapping up Star Trek Judgment Rites. As Admiral Kane may have given mixed reviews on Captain Wilson's performance of his duties as the captain, we give him a perfect review. Well, thank you, because I think she is going to do that. I think that's quite likely that she will do that. But fear not, for when it is complete, Captain Wilson will have completed his transfigurations and evolved into Vaporum. A fine grain of Vaporum, as it forged, shall be the next adventure after a little reading. For each episode of Pen and Pixels, he writes with a feathered quill pen, and for each writing he creates another pixel, but it is not over. Maybe the 100th episode of Pen and Pixels, but the adventures of Arvin Elrond are not yet done. What lies beyond, only time would tell. To you, Arvin Elrond, live long and prosper. Never lay down the feathered quill pen. Keep being a part of the inspiration that drives us. I, Echo Alpha X5 and chat, congratulate you with your 100th episode of Pen and Pixels. May the pen never dry, the pixels never stop illuminating the road for us to follow. And to life there is method in it, there is method in how we live our lives. And as Mason Albert Pike wrote, what we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for the others in the world remains and is immortal. Wow. Thank you, X5. That is legit. Thank you, thank you. That is very kind of you. That is very awesome. X5 actually asked me some questions in preparation for this introduction, so thank you, X5. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, it's wild actually to imagine the fact that we're here and that we've gotten 100 episodes into it. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. So, woo! But thank you, X5. It's very kind of you. And yes, and thank you so much, and welcome to everybody. And yeah, Star Trek Judgment Rites is going to conclude, so let's get over to it and wrap up that awesome game. I really have been enjoying X5 quite a bit, so I am hoping that we have a nice finish to everything today. All right, let's do it up. Hello? And suddenly it doesn't work. What's up, Deroin?
Load a previously saved game.
I'll do that in just a minute. All right. Load a previously saved game. All right. I think it's starting mission 8. Let's do it. That's true. All right, now, as people may or may not remember, this was the place that we teleported into. This is a group of aliens that's basically been testing us all through this game, and here we're actually going to get a chance to do more and chat more with them, because I actually don't, you know, I'll see what this mission is like.
Captain Kirk, I am here. Are you ready?
Our mandate is to seek out new life, new civilizations. If we must do so on your terms, we will. Explain yourself. We're not rats to run mazes. We deserve to know what you want. We welcome contact with the new race, but you try our patience. No more tests or we'll leave. Now, our mandate is to seek out new life.
Listen, we have modified our legends by what we understand of your species. You will be asked a question and may discuss it. Only one person may answer. Begin.
Not exactly, Night Ghost. No.
I make the first query. It is that question posed to the heroic companions we call the Gerund. Answer this. Who among you may go to the greatest pains in the pursuit of life? You may talk. I will withdraw until you choose to speak with me. Remember, only one of you may reply.
Who among you will have the greatest pains in life?
Gentlemen, I think you may be overlooking a fundamental difference between me and everyone else here. I am the only female, the only one capable of bringing forth new life. That qualifies me as the one among us who might go to the greatest pains in the pursuit of life.
That's a good argument.
The Brassican's question is not, properly speaking, a riddle. A riddle has a right and a wrong answer. This is more philosophical, with many possible answers.
Then how can we possibly answer correctly, Spock? Or can we?
One answer will seem more satisfactory than all others, Captain.
At least we can eliminate you, Spock, from this horse race. I don't see any right answer for you to be the person who would go to the greatest pain in the pursuit of life.
On the contrary, Doctor, respect for all living things is fundamental to Vulcan philosophy. A rigorous adherence, unlike humans' variable justifications.
You aren't suggesting, Spock, that you're the right choice.
I believe I may be, Doctor. The Brassicans may agree.
Okay, what about McCoy?
I may not be Vulcan, but I'm the logical choice. Who goes through more pains in pursuit of life than a doctor?
First, Kirk, I would hear you explain if you should be the one to answer. And why?
I'm sorry, Captain Clark, if I decide to present myself as the one to answer, and I'm considering it. I'll explain to the Brassican then and no sooner. Point taken. Very well. So that everyone has a chance to make their own case, I will explain what I consider to be the sensible choice. I'm sorry, point taken. I'm a ship's captain. 430 lives depend on me, on my every decision. Our mission is, in part, to seek out new life, new civilizations. So it comes down to me.
Am I any different? Does not my crew live or die on my decisions? I explore space for the Klingon Empire!
Starship Captain stands as representative of the United Federation of Planets. Many races, whose goals and visions for the future are pursued together. Who shoulders the greater weight, Captain Clark?
No one has ever accused you of modesty, Kirk. See it as you will. You, surrounded by your fellow humans and officers, or me, the sole representative of my empire.
Jim, it's evident that each of us believes we're the right choice. I'm reasonably sure I'm the person they have in mind. But I can see everyone can make a case for themselves.
As indeed we have, Doctor.
I fail to see how further discussion will alter the situation. Either you must come to some decision, weighing the strength of individual opinions,
Or I get some hints out of our green host.
I'm going to save it and see if I can get some other hints. Right now I'm leaning towards Uhura, although I could see Spock being a possibility also. It's not McCoy, it's not Kirk, it's not Clark. I think it's either Spock or Uhura.
Save new game.
I also hope it's not a trick
Replace
question.
Previous.
Alright.
We have our answer. Are you ready to hear it? We have questions to ask. We have our answer. We have questions to ask.
Very well. Ask.
What consequences result from an incorrect answer? What if I were to declare that there's not one right answer, but many? Would you please repeat the question? We can't answer because we don't know enough about your species. Tell us about yourselves. If we understand more, we can answer. What if I were to declare that there's not one right answer, but many?
There is just one answer we would consider wholly correct, Captain Kirk.
In reality, you expect us to answer two questions. What we think is right and what you think is right. We're ready with our answer. In reality, what consequences result from... You are clearly a race who values fairness. You are clearly a race who values fairness. Shouldn't we have more information before we try to answer?
Very well.
No. It was agreed they shouldn't be given special assistance.
Their complaint is valid. Different species think differently. A hint seems
Exactly.
appropriate.
They must show the faculties to think through problems.
Well, Captain, are you positive you want a hint?
Yes, get on with it. No, don't bother. Yes, get on with it. No, don't bother. We'll give...
Let the one who would answer be the next one to talk.
I think it's Uhura.
While acknowledging the Brassicans may desire another to answer, due to the unremitting demands of Vulcan philosophy, I believe...
Wait, I didn't click on...
I don't have anything to add, Captain.
Okay, good. I was like...
Alone among the people here, I am female and capable of childbearing. The nurturing of a new life remains a uniquely female labor. Certainly, I am the one among us who might go to the greatest...
I'm not going to grade it, X5, but it was excellent.
Your answer is accepted. However, this is not to say whether this answer is right or wrong.
Where's he gone?
The next question awaits, Captain Kirk. You are nothing like the Gerund, who hold a special place in our memories. The second question: who among you wrestles most intensely with the chaos of life?
Huh.
Talk amongst yourselves. I will answer questions if I can. In the end, only one may reply.
You bastards! Alright.
As with the previous question, this is a question of judgment, Captain.
Meaning there's no right or wrong answer.
I suspect the Brassica would disagree with you, Captain. There is likely a specific answer they expect.
That's my guess, Knight, but it almost seems too
Each
obvious.
of us can best make his or her own case. As science officer, I believe myself likely. It is the very heart of science to attempt to comprehend the fundamentally chaotic nature of the universe.
I think it's Spock.
Chaotic.
My guess is
If the
Spock.
universe wasn't ordered, we couldn't make sense of it, Spock.
As you are certainly aware, Doctor, chaos defines the very nature of patterns. However, this does not mean random.
Well, that may be. On the other hand, I would be the last person to say a Vulcan wrestles with any concept. And don't you raise your eyebrow at me, Spock.
Okay, what about you, McCoy?
Spock's on the right track, Jim, but he's still wrong. I focus on the chaos of life. Who struggles more than a physician?
Made some sense, McCoy. And I've heard you were a humble country doctor. Sounded more like a Vulcan.
No need to be insulting.
Gentlemen, we've had enough chaos to deal with. Interesting analysis, Bones. However, I think I might be the one the Brassica has in mind.
Alright, what about you, Klingon? Klar.
It's obvious you have never spent time among Klingons, Kirk. The life of the warrior is the struggle between control and chaos. Clearly, the Brassica know more of us than you, and I am certainly the one intended to answer.
I recognize your position, Klar, and if you thought the same as me, I'd have second thoughts. But I don't. As captain of the Enterprise, I'm responsible for the lives of everyone on board. Without a strong hand at the tiller, it would be complete chaos. Those demands make me the best answer.
I think it's Spock.
Save new game. Replace previous.
Let's say very unsure. Yeah, I know. Exactly, 8-bit, yeah. Alright. You gonna give me hints?
We are ready with our answer. We have questions. We have questions.
Very well. Ask.
What have you done with Lieutenant Uhura? Would you define some of the words you're using to give us a better idea what point you're trying to make? We've answered one question. We're trying to meet you halfway. With questions like we've had, any two people can come up with a different answer. How do you judge which is right and which is wrong? Please repeat the original question. With questions...
How do you know right from wrong, Captain?
That is my question, and you're not answering. How would you? For us, it is experience. Mediate... That is my... How would you?
Not the answer my associate expected, Captain Kirk. Good work.
If these aliens' choices accord with ours, we will know there exists a basis for fruitful interactions. If not, and that is what I expect, well, we are a patient race. Anything else, Kirk?
We are ready with our answer now. I want a question. What might we do to improve your opinion of us?
There is little you can do.
We are ready with our answer. We are ready with our answer. I want to talk with my. We are ready with our answer now.
Let the one who would answer
Okay.
be the next to speak.
I think it's Spock.
Comprehending chaos is more work than one lifetime. That is the reason I believe I am the answer to who wrestles most intensely with the chaos of life. It is the heart of science to seek an understanding of the universe and its laws, to make sense of what seems randomly chaotic. In the effort to extract comprehension from the unknown, I work to recognize the underlying patterns for which life represents the greatest challenge.
Okay.
Thus, I am the one among us who wrestles most intensely with chaos.
Your answer is accepted, Commander Spock. However, this is not to say whether this answer is right or wrong in our sight.
Here goes Spock.
You expect me to stand by while my people keep disappearing?
The next question awaits, Captain Kirk.
Okay.
Congratulations, Captain. There are those among us
Who doubted you could make it this far? The third question is somewhat different, but our heroes, the Gerent, found the answer. Solve this equation. Pig plus X equals cow.
What?
Talk among yourselves. I will answer questions if I can. Only one may reply.
Pig plus X equals cow?
What kind of question is peace plus X equal home? These brassicans are a peculiar...
Oh, we didn't
What are
hear
you
the
saying?
same question.
The question was pig plus X equals cow.
Interesting, Kirk. I heard Tlok Pok plus X equals Sorok Nav. To humans, it would translate to plant plus X equal hive paper. What did you hear, Doctor?
Well, I heard peace plus X equal home.
Which one do we answer?
The answer lies in the relationship of the questions. The relationship between the plant, peace, and a pig, or between hive, paper, home, and a cow.
Clar, if you can make that connection, you're a better man than I.
Goes without saying, Dr. McCoy. I am a Klingon.
I'm not impressed, Clar. The Brassica addressed me first. I think we need to answer pig plus X equals cow.
If there's only one answer, it should be sensible. Mine is straightforward. Peace and quiet makes a happy home.
I think
It's
Clar on
almost
this
a
one.
cliché.
I think it's
Reason
Clar.
enough to discount it.
Your candor is appreciated. I trust we'll have achieved some understanding before we have to answer.
I actually think it's...
Only going to let one of us answer.
I think it's actually... I actually believe that it's... I think it's the Klingon. I think he's right.
Save new game. Replace.
Can I get anything
We are
else?
ready with our answer now. We have questions.
Very well. Ask.
If you tell us more about the Gerent, maybe we can figure out what they would have answered. Can you give us a hint? Can you at least tell us if we've been answering you correctly so far? Please repeat the original question. If you tell us more about the Gerent, maybe we can figure out what they would have answered.
The questions we ask have been suitably modified to allow for differences between your people and ours.
I'm not sure if
there
it is,
something
actually.
else?
We are ready with our answer. I want to get back to it.
Very well. Ask.
If you tell us more about the Gerent, can you give us a hint? Can you at least tell us if we've been answering?
Answers that have been accepted have been accepted. More I cannot say. Have you other questions?
We are ready with our answer now.
Let the one who would answer be the next to speak.
Okay. Hope it's you, Klingon.
I am convinced the correct answer solves for all the questions. I am certain that is the logic for this puzzle. If that is only half an answer, so be it.
You have answered 2 of our questions incorrectly. This indicates to us that you are too different from us. We shall attempt this again some other time. You shall all be returned to your ship.
Wow. Okay. That's a fail. That's a fail. 2 questions on...
We're back on the Enterprise.
It feels like we've been dreaming.
It is logical to assume we shared the same experience.
All right, well, we're reloading this, so...
Captain Kirk, I grieve to say that your answers were beyond our ability to...
You should not judge any species from just...
The captain is correct.
Our data is broad enough. In the future, perhaps...
Message from Starfleet, Captain.
I've reviewed your report from your... I'll be frank, Kirk. Starfleet expects more...
Another message from Starfleet.
On screen.
Jim, we have evaluated your current series of missions.
Yes, Admiral.
When this mission is over, we should schedule...
God, dude, all right, fine, enough.
Starfleet out.
I wonder what
He's right, Bones. The moment Starfleet's...
Agreed, Captain. Triumphs...
I suppose we could.
And we shall, Bones.
Load a previously saved game. Restart the game. Load a previous...
All right, so here we go. The thing is, I'm really unsure about what... I'm really unsure about what would have been wrong.
I am here. Are you ready?
Our mandate is to seek out new life, new civilizations. If we must do so...
Listen. We have modified our legend. I make the first query. It is that question posed to the heroic companions we call the Gerent. Answer this.
Who among you may go to the
Who
greatest
among you may
pains in the
go
pursuit
to the
of life?
greatest pains?
I still think it's Uhura.
Alone among the people here.
Your answer is accepted.
I think
this
Uhura
is
was right
not to
also.
say
Where's he gone?
the next question awaits.
If that's true, then it means these next 2 were incorrect. So...
You're nothing like the Gerent.
Who deals with the chaos of life? Who most deals with the chaos of life? I guess McCoy, because he deals as a physician. He deals with this. I'm going to say it's McCoy, I guess.
I am a physician. I am the one who cares for life and health of hundreds aboard the Enterprise. The patterns of chaos are the patterns of life and death, and every day of my professional life is focused on balancing those patterns towards sustaining the quality of life. I am the one among us who struggles most intensely with the chaos of life.
I'm not sure that he intensely does the chaos there.
Your answer is accepted, Dr. McCoy. However, this is not to say whether this answer is right or wrong in our sight.
You expect me to stand by while my...
The next question...
Okay. So...
Congratulations, Captain. There are...
Who doubted you could make it this far?
Pig plus X equals cow. Alright, what did you hear, Spock?
At face value, this question is complete nonsense, Captain. There is no way to answer chicken plus X equals reality.
Chicken plus
What do you
X
say?
equals reality.
The question was pig plus X equals cow.
Interesting, Kirk. I heard
Chicken plus X equals reality.
each question starts with something edible. Pigs and chickens are farm stock, are they not?
Many elements of Federation society do not consume animal flesh, Captain Clara. In principle, however, you are correct. But I believe the answer is, there is no logical answer.
I don't think so, Spock. But I don't like yours either, Clar. Where's the relationship between a cow, hive paper, and reality?
Difficult, I admit, Kirk. But they must be connected.
I'm not impressed, Clar. The Braska addressed me first. I think we need to answer pig plus X equals cow.
You try my patience, Kirk. There's a pattern and an answer. A tok grows a flower that ka-cha insects visit, and ka-cha make nectar and hive paper. So flower would work.
I feel like
And what
Spock
does
is on
that
this
do for
one.
my question? Or Spock's?
Your officer was asked to solve chicken plus X equal reality. The philosophers of Ballari 7 maintain a celestial bird something like a chicken laid an egg from which the universe hatched. The
Yeah,
idea reality
exactly, Leaky.
began as something egg-shaped, was an early theory of Klingon cosmologist.
You're stretching, Clar.
It all fits. The Tlok-Pok flower is egg-shaped. Therefore, I believe egg is correct for all equations. Kirk, in a barter society, Might not a cow be worth, say, a pig with a clutch of eggs
What
thrown
is
in?
this
Clark,
nonsense?
I come from a farm on Earth in a state called Iowa. Your solution makes some sense, but so would pig plus crate of apples equal cow. It's something else.
If I may, based on the evidence, I remain convinced there is no answer.
A time will come when we must answer.
I'm willing to let either of you answer.
The Brassica will allow only one to answer.
We're gonna go with Spock.
The question I heard was chicken plus X equals reality. This question is nonsensical, as is Captain Kirk's. Therefore, I deduce the answer is that there is no answer.
Your answer is accepted. However, this is not to say whether this answer is
All right, well, we must
or
have
wrong.
gotten one more right than we did before, guys.
You plan to make off with everyone? Do you
So we
really
got
expect
farther
me
than we
to
did
keep
last time.
Taking that without protest?
The next question awaits, Captain Kirk.
I am astonished that an alien like you has muddled your way this far. It is a great honor that we share the Riddle Master's questions to the gerund. The last question.
Yeah, exactly, Knight.
Answer this. There are two present. Only one may go. Why should you be the one to leave this place alive? Discuss this. I will answer questions if I can and will. You might want to discuss this with me to explore your options.
I think we got these right, because I think the idea that Kirk and Klar are the last two makes a lot of sense.
Save new game. Replace
Yeah, because I'm more important.
Intriguing question, Kirk. Two captains representing empires at odds with each other.
The Federation is no empire, Klar, and the Organian Treaty assures we are not at each other's throat.
Be honest. There are many differences between us. I wish to hear your analysis before I offer my own thoughts.
Okay.
I'd hoped you thought of something new.
It's simple, Kirk. You go, or I go. A third
I
option
hit
would
the
be
wrong
nice,
thing.
but unlikely.
I'd hoped you thought of some. I'm having second thoughts. I'd hoped you thought. I'm having second.
You go, or I go, Kirk.
Since I represent the peaceful and unified Federation, I'm the only one possible answer. We would share the Brassica knowledge, even with the Klingons, but I doubt the reverse would be true. This is best for everyone.
Okay.
I might surprise you, Klar. I believe the Brassica will come to us in time. The Klingons need the civilizing influence they offer, and you're the best representative. I'll bow out, and you proceed. I don't like the choices. I want another alternative, but I'm not sure there is one. Since I don't like the choices. I want another alternative.
I feel the same, Kirk. I have a thought about how we might deal with the question.
Go ahead, Klar, I'm listening. Forget it, Klar. Go ahead, Klar, I'm listening.
They're asking us to choose one to proceed and one to remain.
That's the implication of death for the one who remains.
I concur. They want an answer that either I live and you die, or you live and I die. I say we answer, we both live, or both die.
Both
Good
die.
concept. What if they refuse?
We choose it, whether they offer or not.
And if it's not the answer I give?
We shall see, won't we?
All right, what do you have to say for yourself? See, I like that. That's got some quality.
save
No
new
Klingon
game.
left behind.
Replace pre.
What do you have to say?
We're ready with our answer. We have questions. We're ready. We have questions.
Ask your question.
Would you repeat the original question? Why should you want to prevent one or the other of us from leaving here? Is there anything we might do that would win a hint to the type of answer you're expecting? Perhaps something that would indicate a real choice?
Yeah, I don't even think that he's actually a Klingon. I've been feeling that he's not really Klingon-y the whole
Would you
time.
repeat the why should you want to prevent one or the other of us from leaving here?
I did not mention anything about preventing individuals from leaving. I simply asked why, given that only one of you may, you should be the one to leave.
Do not be obtuse. The captain's question is legitimate. Captain Kirk, his answer is nevertheless cogent. There is nothing about the question itself which states that someone will be prevented from leaving. However, you are being asked to justify your continued existence, preferentially to your companion's continued existence.
I want to talk with my associates. I want to get back to hypothetical questions are fundamentally empty. However, if you prevent one of us from leaving, then the question is no longer hypothetical. Hypothetical.
The question is philosophical, Captain. As for whether it is hypothetical, have you the same number of
Only that Kirk has
standing
treated
beside
Klar
you
with
now
respect,
as
Leaky.
when we began? That is how hypothetical this question is.
We're ready with our answer. I want to talk with my associates.
I hope you're not reconsidering, Kirk. Our best chance is to bend the rules. Take what we need, even if it's not what is set up for us.
This is a tough call.
Save new game. Replace. Delete previous. Replace.
Alright.
We're ready with our answer.
Let the one who would answer be the next one to talk.
Neither I nor Kirk find this acceptable. We are not even willing allies, but I will not abandon one who has come so far by my side.
Captain Klar, you have stepped forward to make your choice, and that choice is very simple. I make it simpler by allowing you to respond as follows.
I proceed from this room alone. Captain Kirk may be allowed to proceed from this room alone. We both proceed from this room, or neither of us does. I proceed from this. We both proceed from this room, or neither of us does.
There is no such option offered. What exactly do you mean by choosing in this way? That perhaps you should both die?
There's always a third
No,
alternative.
Braskin, it means we're changing the rules. You want one to remain, perhaps to die, and one to go on? We refuse to play that game. You want to meet with us as much as we wish to meet with you, so take us both through, or let us both remain in this surreal purgatory forever. Take it or leave it.
You have confounded me, Captain Kirk. I did not believe you would make such a choice.
But I declared all along that this race had the qualities we sought. The understanding of both leadership and sacrifice. Captain Kirk, you have achieved all that I, at least, had hoped of you.
Nice.
It is time for us to greet you face to face.
Sup?
Greetings. We look forward to a long and fruitful relationship with both your peoples.
Yay!
Your starships will be welcome here on any peaceful mission.
I am pleased to meet you face to face as well. However, I want my crew back.
Of course, Captain.
You're all right, all of you? You were treated well?
We are unharmed, Captain. We engaged in enlightening discussions with the Brassicans. They felt it necessary to isolate
it's good stuff.
themselves so long ago because of interstellar disputes between...
Later, Spock. Right now, I'm glad you're okay.
Indeed, Captain. We are well.
But they couldn't be sure we would have passed all their tests. Brassican, how do you explain that?
Some of us could not restrain our desire to learn. It seemed worth the risk, and has proved so.
Where did you get the drink?
I believe the Federation and the Brassica will have a long and fascinating future together.
Although my associate, Septhi, has great misgivings about breaking our isolation, others of us have high hopes.
You are star-eyed, if you imagine that no difficulties lie ahead.
His name is
However, all conditions have been met, and so I also welcome you, Captain Kirk.
Thank you. Septhi, is it?
Yes, and our moderator, leader to you, is Zenti.
Zenti, Aha, and Septhi.
Aha.
I
No,
hope
it's
to show
Aha.
you've made the right decision.
Speaking for the Klingon Empire, I too look forward to the relationship between all peoples. You surprise me, Kirk. Perhaps one day we will even trust you.
We'll just have to see, won't we?
Captains, feel free to look around while we summon your two ships to these coordinates. Captain Kirk, I have something interesting to show you over here. Come with me.
Save new game. Replace previous game.
Okay.
Captain Kirk, I have misgivings about the Klingon race. For our mutual protection, here is a Paralens disk of data which I want you to have. With this knowledge, you can come to our defense.
Nope.
Will you take it and safeguard our future?
It's the final
Yes,
test.
Not without knowing more about it. No, take it up with the Federation ambassador. Yes, I'll take. Not without knowing more. No, take it up with the Federation ambassador when it gets here.
Captain, I noted that Clara was given an object by the Brassica. He placed it in his pocket.
Oh, Clara, a moment of your time. What have you got in your pocket? Hi, Clara. Clara, the Brassica didn't happen. What have you got in your pocket? Hi, Clara, the Brassica didn't happen to give you a Paralens, did they?
My dealings with the Brassica don't affect you, Kirk.
Depends on what they're dealing. I guess you don't care about our dealings with the Brassica. Like this Paralens they offered us with secret information on the Klingon Empire. I'm just nosy. Depends on what they're dealing. I guess you don't...
How dare you jeopardize the security of the Klingon Empire?
But Captain Clark, unlike you, Captain Kirk refused the Paralens.
What do you think about that? Huh?
Kirk and I have resolved our differences.
We are sorry to see that you two would so freely refuse knowledge. I would not have expected quite so much distrust.
You'll have to work harder to understand us, will you not? Assuming relations continue.
Won't you
Yes,
not?
Captain. Both of you have succeeded in establishing diplomatic contact with us.
Then you will excuse me, Zenti. The unknown requires my attention. Kirk to Enterprise, 4 to beam up.
All right. How'd we do?
Captain's log, stardate 6270.5. We have succeeded in making formal contact with the Brassica. We look forward to a long and productive relationship with them. So, Lieutenant, you turned down the Brassica's offer to become the Federation official ambassador.
Not in my job description, Captain. And they were probably just testing me.
A formidable accomplishment, Captain. Establishing diplomatic relations with a new and advanced alien race. Improving our relations with the Klingons. Impressive.
I better get something good from the Admiral.
Everyone's so cheerful today. Even Spock's in a good mood. This makes me nervous.
Message from Starfleet, Captain.
There's my answer.
I have reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. While you achieved the desired results from your assignment, Jim,
What?
I can only give you a satisfactory rating. I would expect as much from a cadet.
What?
I'm concerned about your performance.
Go to
and I'm
hell.
going to have to forward my concerns to command. Kane out.
Another message from Starfleet.
Shut up, Kane.
Jim, we have evaluated your current series of missions. I hate to say it, but you're lucky you've done as well as you have. We found numerous lapses of judgment. I expected better.
Go to hell.
When this mission is over, we should schedule some time for a refresher.
Boo!
The Academy Simulator isn't just for cadets, you know.
I agree, Admiral.
That's all, Jim. Starfleet out.
Yeah,
Wonder
you're
what
welcome
he'd
for
say
everything.
If he were in the command chair.
He's right, Bones. The moment Starfleet standards start to slip is the moment the
That's
Federation is in
ridiculous.
trouble.
But I knew he didn't. He did that based on the
Triumphs
first
achieved
mission.
without an adequate standard are hollow and meaningless.
I suppose we could have done better.
And we shall, Bones. We shall.
It's not that first. It's that first mission. There was the first part of this mission, the first half, that had all those problems. Man, Kobayashi Maru for me. Oh man. Executive producer Brian Fargo. Game complete, even though I disagree strongly with the assessment of it. I was better than you, Admiral Kane. You steaming pile of crap. You couldn't be doing what I do if you had your eyes open. That's right, you would fail. You suck. Oh man, my favorite mission I think was the Trelane mission. Probably, I like this a lot though. This mission was okay until actually the Voids mission was fine. I liked this one a lot. I like Museum Piece. Though This Be Madness, this was the one that was the problem. Yeah, get the song on the Roads next album. This was the issue because like I liked this one, the method in it was fine, but it was the first part of that mission that caused the problems. I think that's what really ended up doing it. So I think they all go through Captain. So thank you, Expensa. Oh man. That was good, though. I would say that I would give this probably an 8 out of 10. I really like this a lot. I love Star Trek anyway, and I really enjoyed the feel of it. It felt like a Star Trek game to me, and so I enjoyed it quite a bit. Probably a bit better than 25th Anniversary, I would say. And I didn't have to deal with the stupid combat, so that definitely, you know, made these things happen as well. All right. And?
Load a previously saved game. Load a previously saved game.
Okay, we're just doing this so that I can quit.
Yes, quit the game.
There we go. Good stuff. Very exciting. All right, guys, so we have completed... Oops. We have completed Star Trek Judgment Rites. So I knew that it was going to be quick, and it was like a half-hour mission, so I knew that was going to be fast. So what we're going to do here is what I would like to do now to give a nice little, you know, sort of period at the end of the sentence, because this is episode 100. That's true, and it did bring Takangia actually to GOG. Takangia was brought to GOG because of my stupid combat, the terrible combat in Judgment in 25th Anniversary, where I finally was able to beat that final mission. And it is true that Takangia was like, yes, he was along for the ride. So that is it. If it brought us to Kanji, it was obviously a good thing. So. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to do, because this is episode 100, and this is a show focused on story and narrative, what I'm going to do is I wanted to do the game, and then do a reading, and then move on to the next game on the list, which is Vaporum. I'm going to be doing Vaporum, which I've already installed, and which is already pretty much ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a reading first, with assuming everyone's okay with that. I'm going to put on a little bit of music here. I'm going to do a reading from a short story of mine, and then we will go into Vaporum. So that's what we're looking at right here. This story is from Monsters. It's from an anthology that came out from Silence in the Library. There's right there, Silence in the Library. And this came out back in 2016, came out last year. And it has a short story of mine called No More Empires. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this No More Empires story. Again, this is a special thing. I wouldn't normally do this, but it's a special, you know, it's episode 100 and all that. And then we will go into Vaporum. So I'm going to pop up some music here. So let me do that. All right, let's see. How about, what can we do for a soundtrack? Let's do, not that. Hold on a second. One moment. That is the doctor. All right, there we go. Oh, actually, no. No. Even better. Even better. Even better. Even more appropriate. Okay, folks, so here we go. Again, as people come in, by the way, I don't want to stop and sort of let people know, because it's going to break up the flow of the story for you guys. So if somebody comes in and they're like, what the heck is this? Why is he doing a reading? If you could explain that this is a special occasion because it's episode 100 of a story-based show, and that we just finished Judgment Rites. As soon as this is done, and I expect this is about 20-25 minutes maybe, then we will move into Vaporum. So that's what we're looking at here, to The Witcher 3. So before I start, is my voice okay with the music? Is the music too loud, or do you need the music to come down a bit? All right, thanks, X5. You guys cool with the music or not? Why is my hat off? Okay. Thank you, Sharian, very much. Music is okay? Music's good? Okay. Lovely. All right, then let's do it up. This story is called No More Empires, and it was written... The music's a bit quiet. Yeah, but it's going to get louder, though, Sharian, so that's the deal with that. No More Empires. This is written originally for my wife, Clea. And here we go. Aldana had 3 arrows left. The weight of the quiver on her back told her this, as did the sound of the remaining arrows shifting and scraping against each other as she lightly sprang over the fallen branch of an ash tree and ran on. She had not had the time to check since leaving the village several hours ago, and would have not have done so if she did have the time. It was the huntress's custom to count arrows before and after a hunt, not during it, when their focus needed to be on the task at hand. On her 3rd hunt many years ago, Aldana had reached back and grasped air where the fletching should have been, and she escaped the winter bear's claw swipe only because of a fortunate tumble when she stepped back onto some loose snow, leaving her bruised and bloody, but safe, many feet below the edge of the embankment from which she had slipped. "Aye," Jorenna had said later, cackling and nodding as she bandaged the gashes on Aldana's legs and forearms, the sputtering fire inside her hut sending wild shadows on her wrinkled face as she worked. "The Moon Mother must not wish you to join her yet, child. But even a goddess cannot protect a huntress from her own stupidity forever. You must know your arrows as you know yourself, or you will lose yourself as surely as you lose them." Aldana had said nothing, sitting sullenly in front of the fire and refusing to wince even when Jorenna's movements spent spikes of agony through the areas she touched. Jorenna had left the hunts many years ago, and Aldana was not the only young huntress to doubt the old woman's stories of her time with a bow. But the first huntress revered her, and her skill in healing was unmatched, except, maybe, by her ability to mock, belittle, and give unwanted advice. Yet deep down, Aldana knew she was right, and she had indeed been fortunate to escape further harm. "I will not fail again, Moon Mother," she said when leaving the healer's hut, looking up into the clear evening sky where the moon rose to dance with her star children. "I will never forget my arrows again." And she had not forgotten, not once through the many hunts and years since, even the night after Jorenna had left to join the Moon Mother, and Aldana had wandered wild with grief for hours through the dark, snow-covered forests around the village, wishing she knew why she was so sad with the loss of someone she had so despised while alive. After a while, she had come to the edge of a clearing, the moon shining ghostly white off the surface of the newly fallen snow, and saw a massive snow wolf and its cub standing silent in the clearing's center. As Aldana quietly sank to a knee behind the thick trunk of an ash tree right at the clearing's edge, she could see the adult snow wolf, a male, nuzzling the body of another snow wolf half buried in the snow. 2 dark, rough shafts protruded from the white-furred side of the fallen snow wolf. A village youngling could have seen they were Calgan arrows, to say nothing of the body of the otherwise intact snow wolf, a creature which Calgans despised and were content to shoot and leave behind to rot. It was said Calgans needed to shoot 4 arrows to hit 1 target. The problem was that they had 4 times as many arrows as anyone else, and growing quickly. Still, the village could use the skin, teeth, bones, and meat of 3 intact snow wolves, and as Aldana pulled an arrow from the quiver on her back and knocked it, she silently thanked the Moon Mother for the gift. First the adult male, then the cub. It won't reach me for 5 seconds after the adult falls, and by then the second arrow will already be on its way. She drew the bow and sighted down the shaft, stilling her breath as her arms steadied. Just as she was about to release, the snow wolf cub abruptly turned its head to look right at Aldana. She was well hidden behind the ash tree, and she knew she could not be seen, and the cub was not sniffing the air, tracking her scent. Yet there it was, gazing right at her. Its ears were laid back along its skull, gently, not raised in alert or anger. And even from this distance the snow wolf's eyes sparkled with the reflected brightness of the moon. Aldana hesitated. Then the adult snow wolf raised its head as well, staring right at the edge of the clearing where Aldana knelt behind the tree. I could still hit them both, Aldana thought. There is still time. Yet she did nothing. She had hunted many snow wolves, winter bears, even small creatures like rabbits and mice when she was younger, and never hesitated. But something about the snow wolf's calmness merged with her whirling emotions, and though she thought she heard the cackling laughter of Jorenna as she waited, still, she did nothing. A long moment passed. Then Aldana gradually released the tension in her draw arm and replaced the arrow in her quiver, never taking her eyes from the snow wolves. She slid backwards for several feet, deeper into the woods, then stood. The snow wolves did not move. Finally, Aldana stepped back a few more paces until she could no longer see the clearing, turned, and quickly headed back towards the village. "You were a fool," she chided herself as she went. But there was no heat in the reprimand. And even later, when first Huntress Aline was lecturing her on her responsibilities to the village, Aldana had not told her about the snow wolves. She barely paid attention. She was remembering the silent peace of the clearing, the sparkling eyes of the snow wolf cub. Such memories are unhelpful ones now, Aldana reminded herself as she sped up the slope, her sandals leaving barely a mark on the newly fallen snow. Though it would have been nice to return to the days when hunting animals for the village's survival and getting the respect of the older huntresses was her primary concern. She was older now, and things were considerably more complicated. Suddenly the rumbling in her stomach, which had been growing ever more insistent over the past several hours, returned with a vengeance. At least that's not complicated, Aldana thought. But she had not seen a land creature for several hours and had no time to go farther off her path to find one. And then she saw, out of the corner of her vision, a flash of white darting over the snow. As she turned her head, she saw a white fox running up the hill, not even half an arrow shot away, but not at top speed, which meant it had not yet noticed her. One clean hit could take it down, and she could skin it in under a minute. She would have no time for a fire, but it would not be the first time she had eaten raw flesh for sustenance. She had so little time, though, and then her stomach roiled painfully again, and she knew that without food she would never reach the summit anyway. Without slackening her speed, Aldana unslung her bow from her back, then drew one of her 3 remaining arrows and nocked it. She dodged around a bush of ice berries, green and blue in the moonlight, dropped to one knee and stilled her breath, drawing back the bowstring as she sighted down the arrow at the white fox. With a silent prayer to the Moon Mother, she released the string. The arrow whipped through the air straight for the white fox's throat. It was a shot she had made hundreds of times before. But at the last second, the white fox turned slightly to the right, and the arrow intended for its throat plunged into its left shoulder. It staggered and gave a strange barking cry before speeding up and bolting away, trailing spots of blood as it ran. "Bloodfather's breath," Aldana swore, slinging the bow back over her shoulder and running after the white fox. She had no time for this chase, but she dared not let it go. It had one of her 3 remaining arrows. And if someone found it, and recognized the huntress's arrow and where it came from, well, she wouldn't be much use to her village after that, even if she managed to avoid being tracked down. Aldana raced up the slope following the trail of blood, but even at her speed, the white fox was outpacing her, its white fur vanishing into the white expanse of snow ahead. Even wounded, the white fox could still move faster than any huntress, and she hadn't hit its leg, and she was none too fresh after hours of running. But she had 2 things in her favor. The white fox's blood was clearly visible on the moonlit snow, and she was not far from her destination. Only one last copse of trees, barely visible now as a small dark dot in the distance, remained between her and the summit, and if she were lucky, the white fox might run past it altogether. If she were truly lucky, it would grow weak from loss of blood and collapse before it ever reached the trees. Not that I've been lucky so far, Aldana thought grimly, but maybe the Moon Mother will understand that and take pity on me. 20 minutes passed as the huntress sped up the slope. The moon was now high in the night sky, which had remained blessedly cloudless. The white fox had vanished from view some time ago, but the blood trail remained, and as Aldana looked up briefly, she could see the dark dot of trees had become a large circle. The trail was leading right towards it, but so was the angle of the slope, so that didn't mean anything. The white fox might well veer away from the copse at the last moment. But her heart began to sink as she continued to follow the trail. It showed no sign of moving away from the trees, and after only a few minutes, as she could see the details of the brown trunks and green bushes surrounding them, she saw that her quarry had not deviated in the slightest. A minute later, she came to a stop at the edge of the trees, sweat beading on her forehead and neck despite the cold. The trail vanished right in an iceberry bush, and several torn leaves and broken branches indicated that the white fox had darted into, and apparently beyond it. Bloodfather's breath, Aldana swore again, but this time with resignation rather than anger. The chances of tracking the White Fox now were remote, but she had to try, and at least she would be taking the direct route to the summit rather than trying to circumvent the whole area. At least I can't run through the trees either, and that means I'll get a bit of rest, she thought. And with a sigh and another look up at the moon just starting to pass the apex of its nighttime journey, she passed into the trees. At first, the White Fox's trail was still easy to follow, highlighted by ripped leaves and an occasional paw print in the snow in areas where the leaf cover overhead was less dense. But in the center of the copse, the snow had frozen into ice, and there were no more paw prints or visible spots of blood, and Aldana grew more and more uncertain. A minute passed as she moved on haltingly until she finally stopped entirely. There was no further sign of the White Fox. Suddenly, Aldana heard a low, murmuring sound, and instinctively she settled into a crouch. She was right near the far end of the copse, and as she listened, she heard nothing but the sound, varying in duration and intensity, but definitely continuing. Carefully, she crawled forward, still in a low crouch, ignoring the pain of the thick brush on the ground scratching her through the snow as she went. After a few painful feet, she was close enough to the edge of the copse to see what lay beyond. About 20 feet away, a wood fire crackled, sending sparks into the cold night air. 20 feet beyond that sat two human figures on the edges of snow-covered rocks, their backs to Aldana as she peered out at them from her hiding place. Both wore furs, as was the tradition of the Calgans, and Aldana's eyes narrowed. Damn it all, I'm too late. We hear you, a voice said, and only the hurricane's years of training kept her from starting violently. One of the figures turned his face, a man with long white hair, beard, and eyebrows, Aldana thought, though the flickering light of the fire made it difficult to be certain. We hear you, he repeated. It was a stern, cold voice, but not accented like the Calgans, nor elongated like the villagers. So there is little reason for you to stay hidden, stranger. He said it neither threateningly nor comfortingly, but flatly, a statement of fact. Oh, and we have your prey, he added as he turned away again, almost as if it were an afterthought. It did not have long to live when we found it. On the ground, Aldana noticed the still body of the White Fox. The arrow in its shoulder was gone. Aldana hesitated. This was no Calgan, but they had been known to strike alliances with others before. If they had sought out the services of a spell speaker, or simply a stranger from the lands beyond, lured by the promise of easy money, but then it would not matter anyway, for things would be even worse than she thought. And if she crawled away exhausted, where was she to go? She was at the summit already. What would be left of her village by the time she got back to it? She lay there for a few moments longer, silently arguing with herself, then made up her mind. She stood carefully, and drawing the knife at her belt, pushed through the edge of greenery into the clear space beyond. Neither of the fur-clad figures moved. Aldana waited for a long moment, then took one purposeful step forward. At several paces closer, she could now see that even seated, one seemed to be somewhat shorter than the other, and both had white hair, though the shorter one seemed to have more traces of silver. You are cautious, huntress, the taller man said. Ever cautious, like the rest of your kind. My kind? Aldana said, keeping her voice level. Aye, the man said. You and the villagers. Always cautious, always careful. Waiting and watching. Aldana stiffened when she heard the voiced villagers, but took care not to speak her thought. Like the Calgans, she ventured carefully. Nay, the man said. The Calgans are not cautious. They do not wait. And besides, he said, turning again, they do not hunt with this. And with an almost casual motion, he tossed Aldana's missing arrow behind him and turned away again. It embedded itself point down in the snow and stuck there, quivering. Aldana gritted her teeth, beginning to feel angry in spite of the danger. You think I shot that arrow? She asked. The man nodded. Aye, I think so. I think so, because you did. The huntress took another step forward. You assume much, stranger, and I... He is no stranger, the other figure finally said, standing and turning to face her. Like his companion, he had a white beard and eyebrows, but both were tinged with silver like his hair. His face was considerably younger. His voice was less stern, less resonant, but just as cold. And as the rays of flickering firelight struck his eyes, she saw there a glittering, a piercing gray. You are the stranger here, huntress, and his word is truth. If he says you are the one who shot this arrow, it is so. This is my world, Aldana said fiercely, and I am within it. Aye, your world, the younger man replied. To you it is always your world, to all of the huntresses. Not all of them, the older man said, as you taught me, Kreef. Kreef inclined his head towards his companion. That was long ago, Raj. I might have been wrong. He looked at Aldana again. But he says this is your arrow, and so it is. Aldana tightened her grip on her hunting knife. And what do you plan to do with it? Give it back, Raj said with a shrug. What importance does it have to us? Kreef turned to Raj with an incredulous expression on his face. What? Perhaps she will hunt elsewhere, the older man said, his gaze still fixed on the land beyond. Perhaps this time she will kill her prey with her first shot. Aldana stiffened but did not move to retrieve the arrow. I usually do, she said haughtily, and I still have 2 arrows. Kreef turned back to her, eyes flashing, but before he could speak, Aldana heard a low, rumbling laugh. Brave words, huntress, Raj said, chuckling. But bravery is often followed by foolishness, and 2 shots will not defeat an army. He gestured, and Kreef stepped away a few paces. Aldana hesitated for a moment, then walked forward, still gripping the handle of her knife as she passed by the silent Kreef. As she came alongside Raj and stopped, she looked down and felt her stomach drop. Moon Mother, nay, she whispered, her face flushed despite the cold. I am too late. Far below the edge of the summit of the mountain where she stood, the huntress saw the rolling hills and white-topped forest groves of her land, shot through with the undulating curves of the frozen river sparkling in the moonlight. In the north, surrounded by green bands of trees and nestled within a semicircle of hills, she could just make out several twinkling sparks of red, the only lights her village would allow at this time of night. All was quiet. But winding over and down the hills, only a few miles from the village which lay at their heart, Aldana saw 2 moving black lines carving the snow like scars in the skin. One came from the west, one from the east, cutting off the only 2 possibilities of escape, crawling slowly but inexorably towards her home. Aldana stared for what felt like an eternity, feeling the frozen air sink into her skin and still her heart, wondering how long it would take for the cold to freeze her entirely if she just stood there. Would any of the survivors from the village, stumbling along in their grief and horror weeks from now, find her as she stood silently observing their destruction? You came for more than a white fox, huntress, a voice beside her suddenly said, and with a slight start she looked over to see Raj looking at her, piercing gray eyes glittering in the moonlight. She nodded mutely. You hoped, he continued, looking back at the lines below, to come here and see what your village was facing, to prepare a defense. Aye, she replied, feeling somehow very distant, separate, as if she were talking about someone else. That was my hope. And now? Aldana was silent for a long time. I don't know, she said at last. Raj nodded. That is a long run, he said after a moment, jerking his head in the direction of the slope up which Aldana had come. It must have taken you several hours. 2. Aye, Raj said with a mild note of surprise. Impressive. If you leave now, Kreef said from behind them, even if you pause to eat that white fox, you'll still be back in the village well before the armies arrive. They will not notice the passage of a solitary huntress. Aldana shrugged. It doesn't matter. I wasted my time. I should not have come here. Raj glanced at her, then pursed his lips and looked away again. For most of my life, he finally said after a long pause, I wanted to prepare for everything. I wanted to know what my enemies would do before they did. I had watchers, informants, spies everywhere, all of them giving me the knowledge I desired. He sighed. In the end, no amount of information mattered. What was to happen would happen no matter how well I prepared for it, and I could no more change my destiny than I could stop the wind from blowing or the snow from falling. Our ends await each of us, no matter the paths we choose to arrive at them. I don't care about my destiny, Aldana said, suddenly angry. I care about my people. If you cared for anyone besides yourself, you would do as I have. Silence, Kreef snarled, stepping forward. You do not know who... Peace, Kreef, Raj said, his voice a low rumble. Her anger is not for us. The huntress turned to face him. If you are not Calgans, then who are you? Why do you sit here watching the valley's destruction? Raj looked at her, his gray-eyed gaze steady, but Aldana glared back defiantly. Finally, the white-haired man nodded. Aye, brave indeed. She looks as you do, Kreef. Perhaps you two will be friends. Kreef shot his companion a look of disgust and turned away, and Aldana saw the hint of a smile on Raj's face before he turned back to the vista in front of him. At one time, all of this land was mine, he said, sweeping his arm from left to right in an expansive gesture, and the valleys and hills next to it, and the ones next to those. From what you call the Icemouth River to the shores of the Eastern Ocean, all the lands, forests, hills, and mountains, and all who lived in those places, were part of my dominion. Aldana shook her head, confused. We have never sworn allegiance to an emperor. Even the Calgans do not control that much. The fact you and the Calgans care more about your own battle than the world beyond does not change what it is, Raj replied mildly. And in the lands beyond this valley, there are far more villagers and cities and creatures of all kinds than you could possibly imagine. For a time, I knew all of them, and all of them were within my domain. They still are, Kreef said in a low growl. No, Raj said, letting his arm fall by his side again. No, not anymore. Time has moved beyond us, Kreef. There are too few of us now, and too few will still pay their allegiance. Too few who still even remember who we are. Perhaps it is better that way. Better to forget and sink into a blissful, dreamless sleep without waking. Aldana saw the glittering in Raj's eyes brighten. The curse of being alive is to know death will come to the ones you care about, and then to you. And I have watched it happen again and again, each time hoping I would understand more about how to stop it. You are watching our village die? Aldana said incredulously. More endings. Always more endings, Raj muttered as if he had not heard her. For years I have wandered in search of a new beginning, and found only more endings. Even the Calgans, who think of nothing but the next kill, will eventually learn this. There are no more empires now. He bowed his head, and for several moments the natural noises of the night, even the wind sighing in the trees, seemed to still. The audience silence was so absolute, Aldana felt as if it might crush them as they stood on the edge of the mountain. Finally she broke the silence, her voice rush and harsh after the pristine quiet. I hoped I would see a way of escape, or where to prepare our defenses from here, above the snow and trees. But I see there is none. But I cannot simply watch my people die. Even if I must fall with them, I would choose that to watching them go without me. I would choose to fight. You cannot fight the future, Raj replied huskily, head still bowed. The huntress nodded. But I can still fight in the present. And if I do, perhaps it will feel different when the future comes. She drew herself up, then turned, retrieved her arrow from where it stood in the snow, and picked up the body of the white fox. She looked over her shoulder. Either way, I wish you good hunting, wherever the trail leads you. She ignored Kreef's stare and waited long enough to see Raj lift his head and look in her direction. Then she turned away and vanished again into the copse of trees. Aldana waited behind the second hut, bow drawn, sighting down the arrow at the bend of the path leading into the western side of the village. She was hungry, though not famished thanks to the morsels of white fox she had been able to consume on her way back down the mountain, and exhausted. But the comfortable weight on her back reminded her that she now had a full quiver of arrows, and her hunting knife was sharp, and all the huntresses and able-bodied men of their village were waiting in the spots she had been able to place them in the hour since she had arrived. The moon was now lowering in the sky, and there was nothing else to do now but to wait for the first Calgan, clad in his dark leather with his short, jagged-edged swords drawn, to come tramping into view. She looked quickly up at the summit of the mountain in the distance, wondering if Raj and Kreef would be able to hear any of the battle when it began. Think of the present, she told herself, drawing her attention back to the village entrance. Let the future come as it will. And then, as if responding to her thoughts, she saw the Calgans. The first Calgan died with a shot to the throat, clutching feebly at it as he slid to the ground. The second and third went down with arrows piercing the chest pieces of their leather armor. Now a battle horn sounded, and the Calgans increased their pace, clearing the village's western entrance, more dying with every step. Aldana, now clear of the hut, fired again and again, each arrow from her bow racing as if drawn by a line to the heart of the Calgan she targeted. As one died in agency, she took a moment to look around. In agony, she took a moment to look around, and for a moment her heart leaped. There were dead Calgans everywhere, and she saw no villagers lying on the ground. But as she looked back, the smile died on her face. A veritable river of Calgans was pouring around the bend in the path and into the village, the invaders leaping over the bodies of the slain, and from the eastern side of the village she heard shouts and screams from the villagers. She stepped back and fired twice more, a target dying with each shot, before a Calgan at the front of the charge reached her and knocked the bow from her hand. She drew her knife, but he was already upon her, and with a crooked grin threw her back onto the ground. Her head hit the ground with a crack, and she felt her vision blacken and swim as the Calgan lifted his sword to deliver the killing strike. You cannot fight the future, Aldana thought, not afraid but sad. And then she heard something else through the sounds of whizzing arrows and clashing metal, even over the screams of the dying, and the Calgan above her hesitated. Then she caught a flash of white, and something impacted the Calgan, knocking him to the ground. Still dazed, she rolled to her left and saw it. It cannot be. This is my dream. A dream before dying. But she felt the cold of the snow on her side, the pain in her bow arm where the Calgan had struck, and as her vision cleared, she knew she was not dreaming. Standing above the fallen body of the Calgan was an enormous snow wolf. And above the horrible shouts of the Calgan dying as the snow wolf finished him off, Aldana heard the sound again, a sound she would remember for the rest of her life. Howling. Loud, piercing howling. As the huntress stumbled to her feet, she saw countless snow wolves running through the village, ducking to avoid the swipe of a sword, leaping on Calgans and swarming them under. The Calgans shouted commands and tried to regroup to meet the new threat, but for every animal they killed, 10 Calgans died. Now the huntresses fired again, and more arrows flew into the heads and hearts of the invaders, and the only thing louder than the terrified screams of the Calgans was the unearthly howling of the snow wolves. Suddenly the battle horn sounded again, this time a mournful cry cut short, and Aldana saw a few leather-clad Calgans stumbling away down the path leading out of the village, the snow wolves in their wake. After a minute they were gone, and the howling had ceased, and as the huntress looked around, she saw the village huts smashed, a few villagers dead on the ground, the bodies of several snow wolves lying motionless, and many more dead Calgans. But as a ragged cheer went up, Aldana knew that the village, and almost all of its inhabitants, had survived. Her arm on fire, she stumbled to the western edge of the village and around the path, nearly tripping over the benches of dead Calgans several times as she went. Just around the bend of the path, she clambered up the small slope and saw the land beyond. More dead Calgans sprinkling the moonlit snow, all the way to the edge of the forest at the bottom of the foothills surrounding the area in which the village sat. Then she caught a flash of white in the corner of her vision, and looking over she saw 2 snow wolves facing her, not more than 50 feet away. The taller one had a nasty cut in his side, from which several red drops of blood dripped onto the snow beneath. The shorter one, fur flecked with silver, seemed unharmed. Their gray eyes glittered in the moonlight. Suddenly, Aldana remembered a clearing many years before, with 2 snow wolves standing over the body of a third, gazing at her as she crouched in the trees beyond. The taller wolf stepped forward, not flinching despite the wound. "No more empires," it growled gutturally. Aldana nodded. "But a new beginning," she replied. The snow wolf bowed its head slightly. Then it turned and bounded away with the shorter snow wolf by its side, and Aldana watched them go, illuminated by the light of the fading moon, until the flashes of white had vanished into the green forests beyond. The end. And you can find that and many other stories from people who were at the Origins convention last year in 2016. If you check things out at the Monsters Anthology. It's a limited edition, but you might still be able to get it on Amazon and a few other places. So, thank you, Sharian. Thank you. So, yeah. So I wanted to do a little bit of a reading since this is Pen and Pixels and is a writing show and a story show. So I wanted to share that with you guys from last year. So that is No More Empires. Thank you. All right, see you, Class Score. Thanks for stopping by, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, Yeah, so let's pop up some, thank you for The Witcher 3 doing its job. But let's pop up some Vaporum. Thank you, Gross. Let's go over here and let's pop up some Vaporum. Let's remove that. Thank you. Yeah, that's not that story is not intended to be incredibly surprising, other than I wanted it to be about execution if I could. So thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so let's pop up Vaporum, which I am very much looking forward to. Before I do that, I'm going to put that as a completed game now. I'm going to take this and put this in here. I'm going to move this up here. We're going to move this here and this down here. And let's make some vapor, some dust. Yes. Yes. I am looking forward to Vaporum. It should be fun. I played a little bit of this as well, but not a lot. And I know that 8-Bit, actually, I'm not sure if Memory's in 8-Bit. I think he's gone by now. How far in, do you guys know how far in 8-Bit went with Vaporum? Oh, I've also got to adjust. I also have to fix the desktop, the channel updates. Let me do that. But yeah, do you guys know what was... do you guys happen to know that? How far he got? There we go. Let's switch the game up. There we go. Made you think of the Shepherd's Crown. Thank you, Keone. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you know, the concept to me, that story came to me, the first image of that story that came to me was Aldana looking at the snow wolves. That was the first image that I had, was Aldana looking at the snow wolves, and it was a winter story. I wrote it during that time, and that was the first thing that I thought about. So I kind of wanted to reflect, the story kind of built from there, honestly. So, okay, let's go with this. Now I have to make a quick adjustment here. There we go. Good. All right, now give me a second because I got to adjust. Whoops, no, not you. You. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. All right, so let me adjust that. Oh, very nice, Hawkidian. Very, very nice. And I actually just, as I think you may have, I don't know if you noticed this, Dayhawk, but I actually just finished it. Just finished Judgment Rites. I still think that score is garbage, though. Still don't buy the score. I mean, I'm willing to believe that, you know, there were mistakes made here and there, but come on now. Okay. Now this, lock that, lock that, lock that, and lock that. Good, lovely. All right, here we go. Now everything should be good to go, I believe. Oh, that's why it's doing that. That's why it's doing that. Hang on a second. I need to size this. Just give me one sec here. Uh-oh, uh-oh. No. Hold on. Sorry, Vaporum is a little weird about, it doesn't have borderless windowed, which, quick note, please everyone who does a game, please, 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 please provide borderless windowed in your product, please. Makes it approximately 6,000 times easier to stream it when you do that, so please do that. This is giving me grief. Sorry. I tried this yesterday, and it was fine. What is this? Excuse you? Right, I know about this. Please, please behave. Oh my god, stop. This does not wanna behave. This does not want to behave. Why you gotta be that way, game? Why you gotta be that way? Right. Okay, fine. Fine. You win. You win. All right, let me just adjust the capture. Sorry, guys, this was working fine yesterday. Working fine yesterday when I tested it, but okay. And I do not want the black square to go away, X5, in answer to your question. That's there on purpose. Okay. The issue is that the windowed mode doesn't fit, isn't fitting my window properly, so I had to kind of adjust this way, which is annoying. All right, here we go. All right, and let's do it up. Difficulty normal. I am not doing off school. I'm not doing old school mode. Hell no. Auto map for the win. I am not doing elite mode because again, no. I like this a little bit. I'm gonna keep classical, I think. Game tips. Let's do it.
Salty stench of sea and chilling gale at my back awakened me from a disturbed dream. Dream filled with familiar voices and fear for my life. The bitter sense of betrayal stemming from the dream was interrupted by a sudden sound. In the distance, a monumental metallic monster, as if grown into the rocks, loomed over the sky. Despite the fear this colossus exuded, I was attracted to it somehow. With nothing to lose, I went after the light. Thorough examination brought nothing. No mechanism to open the door, and no way to get inside. I resigned and sat down to plunge into my thoughts. Then I realized I had no memory of anything before I found myself on the rock.
I'm sure this is fine.
I felt a strong connection to the giant in front of me. And at that exact moment, a sound echoed through the air. Invading my body as if identifying me.
It's a Reaper.
I braced myself and entered.
All right, here we go. I love this opening, by the way, the shadow. Love it. All right, use WASD, SAD to move around the world in the grid. Q and E to turn. Hold middle mouse button down. Use mouse to look around. Like so.
I'm inside now, but I'm not sure that's a good thing.
All right, well, first of all, let's invert, please. Can we invert, I wonder? There we go. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Not that I plan to use mouse look all that much, but... Okay. Let's do it up. So... Oh, and I forgot that Chrono Wolf was there as well. F6 quick save hype. All right, here we go. Pistons. No getting out that way. Oh, God. Into the monster. That's a good question. Promoting decline. Yeah, exactly. Listen, if the Codex, and there have been some nice people. There are people who have been nice to me about some interviews that I've done over at the Codex, but quite honestly, if the Codex is approving of games like Grimoire and talking down about games like this, then that pretty much tells you all you need to know about what they value. I thought Grimrock was amazing. In fact, Legend of Grimrock 2 was actually my game of the year a couple of years ago. I believe this game was actually done by a team of 4, if I'm not mistaken. I played about a half hour of this to make sure that it captured okay. And then after that, it's all new, so... I should put on sneaking music. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Automap is not available yet, really. Working rig. Wear a working exo rig beyond this point at all times. Failure to do so may endanger the lives of others and your own. Remember to save your progress often by pressing F5. Saved. Little Big Adventure sneak mode music, nice. Oh man, Little Big Adventure. Love that game back in the day. Twin Sins Avenger, Relentless. Working rig. Actually, can I read? Yeah.
Feels like I'm missing something.
You can pull boxes? Yeah, I think I actually did know that, Grows. I think I stumbled into that when I was practicing, when I was playing this the other day for a little while, as I said. When I said I was playing like a half hour or so, I actually did do that sort of by accident. Okay, now exo rigs. You can now choose to equip one of 3 available exo rigs from the containers. Each has a definitive strength over the others in a certain area, but where the choices are reversible. Now, I normally, in a game like this, I'll show you guys the 3 choices that we've got. So we have combat rig. Permanent combat bonus. Deal bonus damage with every 3rd successful weapon attack. 30% combat. 50% bonus damage in every 3rd successful attack. Increases the damage and the accuracy of weapon attacks. So there's that. Choice number 2 is heavy rig. Gain permanent toughness bonus. You have a chance to reflect an incoming attack to the attacker, taking no damage yourself. This chance is doubled when below a threshold of integrity. 30% toughness, 25% reflect chance, 40% integrity threshold. Toughness is a statistic that increases rig integrity, hit points, and the likeliness of evading direct attacks. And then the last choice is this one, the Thalma rig. Gain permanent tech bonus. Also gain energy regen when below a threshold of energy. 30% tech, 35% energy threshold, 75% energy regen. Statistic that increases your energy reserves and the damage output of gadgets. Normally, this right here, the Thalma rig, is probably what would interest me the most. But in a game like this, I noticed this yesterday, the enemies move very quickly. Faster, I think, than they do in Legend of Grimrock. And my sense is that the rooms and the sort of room for maneuvering is much less than you have in Grimrock. And so as a consequence, it's a lot harder to stay ahead of these creatures, and healing oneself is not nearly as easy in terms of spells and things like that. So as a consequence, I am actually going to go a little bit against type, and I'm going to do the heavy rig. I like the reflect chance, I like the toughness, I like the integrity threshold, and I'm basically going to build myself into one hell of a tank, possibly with guns. I haven't decided that yet. We'll see. Heavy rig.
This feels familiar. I don't know why, but it feels like it's a part of me. Wonder if the door lets me through now.
All right. I think this is a good spot to do a hard save here. This is rigged. I see what you did there. Here's my inventory. It's where you can store your items, equip in your hands, armor slots, gadget slots, I to access your inventory. I got bupkis right now. Got nothing. Got no circuits. Got no notes. Got nothing. Cannot go heavy rig, aka tank without guns. True, yeah. I basically am a walking Iron Man. I am Iron Man. Now we got an auto map. Let's close this door behind us while we look at stuff. What have we here? Aha! A crowbar! Hell yeah. Best crate opener around. Use weapons to deal direct damage. Move the inventory window to the left. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that in just a second. So, yeah, you can use weapons to deal direct damage or destructible objects. Have up to 2 weapon sets. Switch between them by pressing Z.
Handy. And there's writing on it. Happy anniversary, Gordon. Who's Gordon?
Apparently I can't move that, so what I'll do instead is I will move... Move this up here. Shrink it a trifle. Move Twitch chat over here. And there we go. Locked, 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 locked. There we go. I hope that is better. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Morning, Kinley. Here's something to get into the new crates with. Need them babies open by the evening. Don't do nothing stupid with it, though. Winnie Bench, Chief Tallier. Okay. Yeah. Crowbar. Open. Out of my way, barrels. That's right. And we got a bag. Bullets! That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now we got a crowbar. That tells me that there's a fight coming any second. Your rig provides you with a map that automatically updates as you explore the site. Press tab to display it if you get lost. Okay. Uh-huh. What's up? Damn it. I got distracted by my phone. Miss, miss, miss. There we go. Come on, big guy. Miss again. Yeah.
Well, that was unpleasant.
What's up, Tombo? How you doing? Welcome. Here is the map. I love this map, and it's very similar. Center on player. It's very similar to Grimrock. Like very, very similar. Okay. The hell was calling me just now? All right. Lovely. Alrighty. So first combat down, no damage taken. That's a good start. Now, one of the criticisms that I heard of this game is that there's a lot of the I walk into a room and then the door closes behind me and everything, like all these things come after me. So I'll have to keep that in mind. Beware, pay attention when working near ground shafts and holes. What's up, Paduk? Yeah, although there was cooldown in Grimrock also grows, you know. Alright. We're going to push this right in there. Zip. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Yeah, since it's party-based. Right, so you can stagger the attacks because of that. I hear sounds from someplace. Always go right to start with. Looks like I chose properly. Aha! A gun! The gun. So we're going to put the gun. Ranged weapons are powerful, allow you to attack from a safe distance, but require ammunition to fire. Don't need to reload weapons manually. So I'm going to keep, that's going to be my set 2. So I can switch to set 2. And what I'd like to do is to be able to dual wield guns, which I know requires you to actually put stuff into dual wielding eventually. So, all right. And what do we got for this note? Surprising something. Whoa! A surprising find. Whoa! Guess what I found in the crates that came in yesterday? Guns! Lots of them. Couldn't help myself and took one just in case, like, might be some sort of meltdown. You never know. This now looks more likely as I heard some experiments went a bit wonky up there in the labs. God knows what they're cooking up. But why the hell do they need guns and so many of them? Ben Kinley, Tallier. Gee, I wonder why. Thank you for the follow over on my stream, and I didn't mean to. Thank you for the follow there, G-Car, over my channel. I did not mean to accidentally shoot the locker. Aha! Rusty key, which I need. And new workforce. They sent me a new lad. Name's Ben Kinley. Not sure why, but he seems to crave the hard work here. Don't know what's so lovely about hauling crates all day long, but he's a good kid. Maybe he wants to impress the big shots from upstairs to get a warm place in the fueling unit or something. Ha! It's too bad no admin ever comes down here to see us. This is the dump no one cares about. Winnie Bench, Chief Tallier. Pacifist runs are always best. What's up, Dragonspear? Pacifist run in this game would be very difficult, is my impression. Alright. So, let's try, I bet there's going to be someone out here. Thank you again for the follow, Sona Koala. God bless America. I've really got to not walk around with that weapon, or I'm going to do that again. Worker boots, plus 20 integrity. Good. That increases my hit points. And what is this? Ah, yes. This is a phono diary. Kind of like the way that they do this in Dishonored. Very similar.
A phono diary. Maybe with these I'll learn more about this place.
My Marcus was chosen by the Bureau to lead the Vaporum, which is under construction out there on the high seas right now. We decided to accept the offer to live there and lead the research. It's a test our marriage must undergo. I stood by my loving husband through his years in the military, and I'm ready to support him now. It won't be easy. I'll be in charge of a fair amount of research at the tower, but my family means everything to me. Thanks to this commission, the Bureau will provide us with everything for a happy life somewhere on an island of our own. One day.
I'm going to come out and there's going to be something waiting for me. Yep. Haha. That's right. Every time I see something that looks like a pressure plate, I'm like, okay, what was the one that I couldn't open? I don't know that I found anything without a key. It must be over here, I would guess. How's the volume, by the way, guys? The volume okay on the game? Yeah, this doesn't look even remotely like a trap. Ah.
I need a key.
Got your key right here, Broseph. Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, X5. Well,
This
well.
might hurt.
Aha! Take that. It's another repair kit. Or that is the first repair kit that I found. That's basically your healing kit, is essentially what that is. Alright. I want to make sure I try to go around... Damn it. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Damn it. Keep hitting that thing. I don't want to do that right now. Come on. Nice. Okay. So far, so good. Hello, Sir Die a lot. Yes, I'm still pretty much at the start. I'm just on the first level. Okay, so we have obviously a... We have got a... We have got a pressure point. Ah! And we have a treasure chest. A brick! Coming up with a flavor text for a generic brick is just plain fun. Nice. And we have another photo... What is it? Phono diary.
I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Studying at the Supreme Bureau University comes with prestige, sure, but now I can start my career, finally. As one of the proud draftsmen for the head architect of the Bureau, the Arx Vaporum is partly my doing. The tower is to our technological advances. The Arx is going to bring about a historical breakthrough once we decipher the substance on the seabed, the marvelous fumium, and we can show the world what it can do. We have such great expectations.
More or less, that's it. Dial out a lot. More or less, that is the case. You wake up outside this huge mechanical tower, and you don't know why. And you go to this mechanical tower, and it lets you in, and then you get this combat rig, this like exoskeleton rig, and that's basically it. And you begin to pick up bits of information about this thing, which seems like it was originally some kind of scientific / mining place, basically, but that's all I know so far. And yeah, Lurkenstein, this is called Vaporum, is the name of this. Ah, yes. The power of the brick compels you. Mm-hmm. Spiders. Woo! Okay, that wasn't bad. I only took 3 points of damage there. That is not too bad. I can put up with that. Well, gonna have to deal with you. Hey, what's up, G Pudding? Game volume is a bit low. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I will turn up the game volume. Okay. Let me know if that's any better. Oh, shoot, I hear him. Thank God for directional audio. Yes! Thank God for directional audio. I actually heard him to my left, and I was like, I better back off. Nice, nice, nice. Directional audio. Saved by the headphones. Secret found. What do we got? Runcraft's Gauntlets. Reduces the attack cooldown of Runcraft's Crowbar. Okay. 30% cooldown reduction. I don't think I found that guy's crowbar. Good old Runk knew how to tinker with things. How to make them fit together seamlessly. Okay, cool. Thanks, Paduk, for letting me know. 10 integrity plus 10 resistance. Hell yeah. A recruit buckler. Hell yes again. Increase that integrity. More bullets. Convenient, because I just used a bunch. And this. Today, out of sight. Today I managed to get out for a bit to fetch the new cargo from the ship. Seems like the supplies are getting thinner by the month. Anyway, it was a long, hard shift. I don't mind that much, though, as long as I get to breathe the fresh sea air. And you know what's best? Down here, I'm out of sight of the office. Ben Kinley, Tallier. I like this capitalized office thing that we've got going on. Absolutely it does. Hey, what was it? Grows. I want to take a look again what Grows said about. Clicking on the lower part of them and dragging them backwards. Okay. Actually, this doesn't look like I can push it back, so I guess it doesn't always... it doesn't look like you can always pull it. Aha. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, sorry about that. I changed everything about the inside of the, like the dashboard and stuff, but I forgot to switch it to Vaporum. Because I actually don't even have that link set up. I didn't know if I was going to be doing that today. Oh, God. Wait, what? Oh, this is a classic. Yep. Classic Grimrock move. Classic Grimrock move. Here, spider's coming. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Literally shoot. See, I just got it reflected there. Wow, these guys move fast. Whoa! Not too bad, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. Ground floor armory. I like the sound of that. Oh, God. What the flip is that? Oh, my God. Bad. Bad, bad. Get out of my way. Shoot. Shoot. Woo!
These creepy little things.
That was a little freaky. Thank you, Sharon, very much. Thanks. That was a little scary. Bleeding effect. When suffering from deep gashes in the flesh, the target takes a small amount of damage over a short period of time, but greatly increased damage while moving. Mechanical enemies do not bleed. Well, I don't know what the hell that thing was that I just found, but... Okay, I got another repair kit, which I may end up having to use. Because I kind of took it on the chin with that one. This armory better have been worth it. Ooh, okay, rusty dagger. 7 damage as opposed to 6. Yes, please. A lieutenant rifle. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So, instead of having this, lieutenant rifle, baby. Lieutenant rifle me. Ooh, and we have some armor here. We've got plus 50 integrity, plus 2 combat. That's interesting. So they have all 3. So I could increase my combat ability here with the recruit mantle. And it looks like I can actually wear that if I want. But I'm actually going to use 60 integrity, 2 toughness. I'm going to try to go all the way with this tank build. If I can. But I reserve the right to change my mind if I decide that something else works better. God bless America. How many times am I going to do that? Okay. Silver key, which we're going to need for something. Repair kit and a pounding. Ever since working here at the sea level floor, I noticed this weird constant sound. It's coming from below. Sounds like pounding. Almost like a heart, just a huge one. Is it the mining gear deep down there in the sea at the Fumium core? Well, I don't know, Ben Kinley Tallier. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, it's not for everyone, Sir Dialot. I like it. I don't know that I would like it for every game that I play. And I tend to like turn-based things better than I do real-time stuff. But I just loved Grimrock, and one of the reasons I wanted to play this game as a series is that I'm really intrigued by the world, and I like steampunk quite a bit. So that was basically why. I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to repair here. Okay. All right, I'm in better shape than I was before. Now, can you add notes? Yeah, you can edit notes. Okay. Just want to see what they look like. And then you can remove notes as well. That's cool. Oh, man. It's so clean. Such clean lines. I love it. And this thing needs a silver key. I got your key right here. Oh god. The hell is that? Ow. This is bad. 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 Ow. Bad. 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 Ooh. That was tough. Basic discharger. Unleash an electrical discharge causing area damage around you, implying a shock to enemies hit. Oh yeah, this is one of the techs, I guess. 20 damage, 4-second shock effect duration, minus 50% total damage, 70 energy cost, 1 tile radius, 16-second cooldown. I like the fact that it has this effect on other... Apart from weapons, you'll find various thaumaturgical gadgets you can use in combat, outsmart enemies, or buff yourself up to temporarily become stronger. I like the idea of it affecting more of a radius, which is more than what Grimrock ultimately did. Yeah, well, Grimrock 1 was definitely more generic, but Grimrock 2, I have to say, was not. I mean, Grimrock 2 happened on an island, but there was a lot of different types of creatures and different settings that you dealt with there. So I actually... But as I say, Grimrock 2 was an amazing game for me, so... When struck by an electric shock, the target's damage output is greatly reduced, takes some damage over a short period of time. Enemies capable of producing such a shock are resistant to all shock effects themselves. Okay, so no zapping the zapper, basically. Okay, lovely. They took it on the chin there. Okay.
This thing from the spider fits into my rig. Let's see how they like being shocked.
Let's do it. Level up. Very nice. As you destroy enemies, your rig will gain fumium. After acquiring enough fumium, it will up a level, increasing the overall power. You will also gain circuit points, which you can use to unlock or improve circuits. Circuits significantly improve your power in the given area. At higher ranks, you'll unlock modules which further increase your power in various ways. You'll come across fumium capacitors, which grant you fumium permanently when you consume them. I like the sound of that. All right. +1 circuit point. What have we here? Ah, fumium again. All right, well... Okay, let's talk about those circuits. So we've got blunt weapons. I'm not using blunt weapons particularly in this build. Blade weapons is a possibility. Just does more blade weapon damage. Handguns increases handgun damage. And the amount of ammo you salvage from drops. I like that idea on both counts. Same thing with rifles, although that one is interesting because the handguns actually helps ammo and guns, whereas rifles is just improving rifle damage. Dual wielding, which I definitely want to consider. Allows to wear two-handed weapons in each hand. I like that dual limb motorics. Motorix, maybe. And then the last thing is Armorer blocking. Each rank increases your overall durability, plus 30% integrity. Blocking, each rank increases your chance to block direct attacks with shields. I do have a shield, but I don't know if I'm going to have it all the time, especially if I'm using my rifle, I won't. Thama Catalyzer, each rank increases the recharge speed of gadgets. That's not bad, but I'm not a Thama build, so it doesn't really help me. Each rank increases your energy regeneration rate, same deal. So I think probably the choices here are between handguns, dual wielding, and armorer. But I want to increase my damage, especially because of how, damage that I can take because of how fast these guys go. So I'm actually going to increase. I'm going to build up my tank status. And I'm going to increase. See, I went up to 397. I like the drill with that quite a bit. I think that it's worth finishing Grimrock 1, which I also think is excellent. Die a lot. It is a dungeon crawler. Grimrock 2 is much more expansive, but I think Grimrock 1 sets you up nicely for Grimrock 2, if that makes any sense. And there's a lot of cool puzzles and aspects of Grimrock 1 that I like as well. I think Grimrock 2 is better, but I think Grimrock 1 is really neat. You don't really need it from a story point of view, but in terms of like... but in terms of just the overall concept of how the game operates, ooh, that leads up to 2. I think I took care of all this already. I think it's worth it. Lovely. Let's do it. Yeah, but I highly recommend Grimrock, which I think is... The Grimrock series is great. I actually have interviewed the Almost Human developers, and I'm hoping that they do Grimrock 3 at some point in the near future, because, as I said, I adored that game. All right, let's overwrite that. Lovely. 3 bullets only.
I have no idea what this monster I'm inside of is. Although I feel a little safer in the exo-rig that I found, I have a suspicion there are a lot more surprises waiting for me. Oh, yeah. The weird blue substance I found in the capacitor seems to charge the rig and upgrade its function. But I still need more information. Maybe I'll figure out what the hell this place is about as well.
There was a guy on Twitch who actually I watched a few minutes playing this, who is the guy who did this voice. So, let's increase Fumium. 140 to 260 of Fumium. It's a really neat idea. You can also, in these games, in games like this, you can use the auto map to your advantage so that you can sometimes see before you go into a section. If you pop up the auto map, you can see whether or not there's a wall behind you, so that at the very least, most of the time, you can then strafe over and you don't have to worry that you're going to get attacked from behind, at least immediately in these things. Because in this sort of square dance type of combat, positioning is really important, and getting trapped, which is what happened to me when I had the spider over here, and then that big electrical sparkly dude. You don't want that to happen. You saw why you don't want it to happen ultimately. Brick switches and wall on Grimrock 1. Yeah, a little bit. As I say, 2 is better, but I still think 1 is an excellent game. Damn it. Shoot. I like the design of these creatures. They're slow, as opposed to those spiders, which move much more quickly. Okay. What am I doing on ammo? 1 bullet left. Oh, and not even, because it requires 2 to fire. Yeah. If I get more handguns, That'll be useful. Ah. Give to me the chest. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. There we go. Energy cell restores energy over time. That'll be useful if I'm going to use a lot of those things. I miss Adam. I really miss my buddy Adam. That dude had one messed up sense of humor. Got fired over some naughty pictures or something. Now the new kid, he sure is one hell of a workhorse. But he seriously needs to lighten up, have some fun, man. He just keeps himself to himself all the goddamn time. Winnie Bench Chief Tallier. Maybe the accent doesn't quite work the way I thought it would for him, but... This is an example, see? So you can tell now that there's a wall there, which means you can now strafe in this way, and you're not going to get attacked from behind you. Good damn time. Ooh, this thing's got a gun. This thing's got a gun. Haha! Not anymore, it doesn't know. Ammo! Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I don't like that 2 bullets per shot, though. That's... It does a lot of damage, but jeez. What do we got? Ooh, here we go. 14 damage. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Also a recruit mace. 35% damage to mechanical enemies. 0.3 second attack time. 1 tower range. 1.6 second cooldown. Same, but 35% damage to organic enemies. Yeah, I don't want to have to jump around all the time between these things, but I guess I should keep both of them for now. Actually, let me quickly organize here. I can see this is going to get out of hand if I'm not careful. So, weapons, weapons, weapons. We'll put ammo up here as usual. Okay, then we're going to actually put consumables. So, we've got consumable. We've got, actually, repair kit, consumable. And we've got bullets. And then we've got this, 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 this. Good. Alright. I found a hidden corridor, a perfect place to hide my precious piercer. There's a strict ban on guns here in the Arks for us commoners, but nobody's going to take a gun off a Berettan. My dad gave it to me, and his dad gave it to him all the way back to great-great-granddaddy. We Berettans take care of ourselves. If only I hadn't bent the screw on the wall brace. Just hope no one notices. I'm a Berettan maintenance unit. Oh, really, Will Run? Nice. Well, I don't know. Memories and 8-Bit did this first, and did not the full game, but... Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Give me that gun. Yes. Piercer. Pierce through enemies, dealing damage to all of them in a line. 25 damage. Hell yes. Hell yes. All right, now what we're going to do for this is... This Lieutenant Rifle is cool, but much cooler is going to be dual wielding. Now, dual wielding is not as effective as single wielding, but having the benefit, you can see damage output considerably lower, but you can amend it by investing circuit points in the dual wielding circuit, which I will eventually do, because being able to jump back and forth between guns is very effective. And so basically the way to look at it here is 38 damage with a 0.55 second attack time, 2 ammo. Each of these deals with 1 ammo, right? And it's a 0.4 second attack time. So basically I'm getting up to 45 damage. This is 38. Up to 45 damage with a faster cooldown. And so there's really no comparison ultimately. Oh, on Retrograde Tom's channel. Yeah. That's right. I forgot that he actually did this game. I don't know if he played the whole game or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if the devs showed up to that. Yeah, I thought if I had played this on my own channel, I might have considered doing an interview with them, and I could theoretically do that still with these folks. We'll see. Let's try it out, shall we? Ah, damn it. Nice. Whew. That was a little too close for comfort. Used up a little more ammo than I wanted to, but... Oh, Lex stole his attention, never finished it? Yeah. Yeah, you know, I have to be honest. And again, this is just me. And I know that it's been played on this channel, and I know that people are... Personally, just me. Not sure that's my thing. I like, obviously, role-playing games are my favorite kind of games. But something about that is not clicking for me. Oh, damn it. Let myself get trapped. I got to be careful about not letting that happen. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. I know that I've watched quite a bit of them, but we'll see. Those have always been... Sorry, Oh, a timed puzzle. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to get into a big thing about a game that's being played on here by, you know, again, and I know Tom likes it a lot. Just not, I don't know. Just something about it doesn't click for me. I don't like the combat at all, and I think that's the biggest thing, but anywho. Okay. So, timed puzzle is easy. There we are.
That was kind of close.
Yeah, it was. Rusty key. And a repair kit. I like the fact that when you use the key vanishes, so you don't have more stuff cluttering up your inventory. 3 repair kits. Not bad. I feel like so far so good up to this point. Now we'll see how long that continues. Oh, really? Well, yes, as you know... Torment, Tides of Numenera. I love Torment, obviously, which is why I did the whole series on here. My least favorite part of it was the combat. Although, as I say, it has positives to it, but, man, for the most part, not my bag. I did not like the combat there. But it was never intended to be a big combat-style game, to be honest. 11 bullets. That's okay. Not great. Oh, God! That freaked me out. Did I miss with both of those? Really? Oh. This is bad. Oh, God. Whew. Take those bullets. See, but you guys can see that I have 363 out of 397, and that's because I'm blocking part of the time. I'm reflecting part of the time. I'm a tank, and that's making up for some of these attacks, you know, that happens here. Hey, thank you, Kilgore. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very, very much. And by the way, guys, thanks to Kilgore. You guys, of course, should be following Kilgore, as I'm sure you already do. I caught a little bit. I was lurking in your Daggerfall stream yesterday, Kilgore, because I played that back in the day as well. You guys should be following him, of course. And we are almost about a half hour left, a little bit more, until the end of my stream today, playing more of Vaporum today. And I'll be ending it and then giving way to Chrono Wolf back from TwitchCon, who's going to be playing In the Shadows, a new release. So that is going to be awesome. Okay. Actually, let me do a named save here. I have to say so far, now one of the other criticisms that I heard of this game was the fact that it is, I keep forgetting to use that. I've got to use that gadget more. I keep forgetting to do that. But is that the variety of enemies was not that great. And so that is interesting. I mean, that's something to think about. We'll see how I feel about that. I don't necessarily need to have 6 million different kinds of enemies, to be honest with you. What the flip is that? I have no idea what that is over there, but it troubles me. That looks like poison.
Maybe there's a way to raise the water level.
That's probably a good point, Stelvar. Well, the reason is because I was handling the mechanical enemies. You make a good point, though. I'm going to switch it. But the reason is because I was dealing with mechanical enemies. I was dealing with the mechanical enemies I was handling fine on the first floor. And then I ran into the one organic creature, which was no joke. So I guess I was keeping the sword. Because I had more trouble with the organic enemy. But you're right that most of the mechanical ones are here. That's probably a good call, actually. So I will switch it. Aha. What? What is that? Fumium key. Why are you not moving? Am I not hitting that thing? I don't think I'm hitting this thing. Wow. I don't understand what happened there. It felt like I wasn't hitting him. It didn't look like misses. I don't know what was going on there. Okay. Waterworks. Merry Christmas. Happy to have that. Okay. Gee, I wonder what that is. Ow. Can't move. Got fireball behind me. Come on. Jeez. Whew. All right. Hey, what's up, Satuar? All right. Now, let's see if we can figure... I again forgot with the gadgets. Man, I've got to be better about that. I'm almost at a level up point, though.
I need a key.
I wonder if I shut down... I might have shut down one of them. I don't know how I... did that, though. No, it's still firing off. This doesn't do anything, so I guess it's not a big deal. Let's see. Can drop any item you find obsolete under the ground. You can throw items into the distance. I wonder why you would ask that. Well, that's why you reload. That's why you quick save. This is what I'm supposed to do. Aha! Rusty helm, plus 20 integrity. Worker gloves, plus 10 integrity. Not as good as the ones I already have, but I'll keep them as items to weigh things down, which is useful. This is Vaporum, Mark of the Dragon. Got a golden key. We've got a soulmate. And we've got a phono diary. Let's go with that, soulmate. My foreman, Mr. Bench, seems like a decent fella. He has a good sense of humor and all that, but I can't let him get too close to me. Can't let anybody get close to me, not after losing my soulmate, Lisa. She was so bright and warm, only she got her nose too deep into the fumium research. I did warn her, but she just wouldn't listen. So now, I've dedicated myself to work and nothing else. Keeps me occupied and keeps the blues at bay. Ben Kinley Tallier. And that was the... Earlier, the guy was saying that all he does is work, and he needs to not do that, so...
Today is the most beautiful day in my life. I found out that I'm pregnant. Marcus and I will have a baby. But still, raising a child here in the tower, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I will have to protect it from the effects of the fumium. The thing is, I'm starting to doubt that we really know anything about its power or influence. I'm pretty sure, though, that if it proves to be dangerous to the baby, Marcus and I will go back to the capital island. We'll be a family, and that's much more important than any research or benefits from the Bureau.
In before she was never allowed to go. Okay. So, there's a golden key up there that I can go into. Okay, 10 on those. Oh, God. That was the creature I was talking about. That was the thing I met that messed me up, man. No, but still. I mean, I could change sets, but the thing is, I wish there were 3 sets. If there were 3 sets, this would be perfect. 1 for organics, 1 for mechanicals, and then the guns. That would be great. So, devs, hear me. Add 1 more quick set. That's all we need is 1 more quick set. I'm not that worried about it, though, because 9 more, and I'm going to level up, and then you get all your health back automatically, which is useful. That's the creature my mom warned me against. Exactly. Man, the lighting in this is, like, definitely a bit freaky. Give me something good. Basic blowtorch. Unleash a wave of fire in a line, dealing damage to enemies hit and administering burning on them. Basic blowtorch. Like the sound of that. Alright, let's find out what it does, actually. When burning, the target and their nearby allies take some damage over time. Enemies capable of causing burning are resistant to all burning effects themselves, as usual. Roachling. We discovered cockroaches here in the Arx Vaporum. They must have found their way in here with the supplies of fruit and veg. We quickly decided to eradicate them, but then Laura stepped in with a bold idea. Let's use them for research. Great, so I'm fighting big cockroaches. That's great. That's great. Thanks, science. Thank you. What's up, Thork? We feed fumium-enhanced fruit hash these little pesky creatures. Well, little. They're growing fast. We had to build holding cells for them as they started to lash out at us. Very agile, quick, and hard to contain. I just hope these roachlings don't become too strong to break out of the cells. Observing their growth and behavior is marvelous, but there are risks we cannot foresee, I'm afraid. Jane Shane, Substance Field Assistant. Yes. Yes, there are always risks. Always. Every single time. Cockroaches for science. Pretty much the steampunk version of Grimrock. In a lot of ways, yeah. Oh, that was... I'll just reload there, because that was absurd that I just did that. I literally saw it, and I'm like, I will leap forward to my death. Okay. Why is that pit not described there? All right. Interesting. What is the point of that button then? Oh, yeah. Seriously old school. Stonekeep. Man, I haven't thought about Stonekeep in ages. In ages. Okay. And loving it. Okay. Right, that's how I got the trigger for the pit. Right, and this is the thing. Right, this is the flame thing. With the stuff. Actually, I haven't gotten... Alright, I'm going to have to go back there. Because I think I was doing this in the first place. Yeah, I was going here in the first place to try to raise the waterworks, I think. So... Still requires a fumium key. All right. Yeah, so I still haven't... Interesting. I still haven't gotten the any of the waterworks raised. Look at all this. Yep. What the hell is that? Oh, interesting. All right. Hit the wrong button, damn it. That was another way of doing it, instead of wasting my ammo. Oh, God! Shoot. The hell is this nonsense? Level up. That's what I was hoping for right there. That's what I was hoping for. +1 circuit point. You know what we're going to do with that? We are putting that in here. It requires level 4. Oh, all right. Well, then the question is, am I going to put anything in dual wielding? I'm thinking about putting a point of handguns in so that I can increase ammo, but man, dual wielding is so useful. 14%. Striking enemies while dual wielding. Wielding 2 weapons at once results in reduced damage. Okay. So I could dual wield it, or I could save. Yeah, I think I might save this because it's going to increase that damage. That reinforcer module is really useful. Yeah. I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to hold on to that circuit. Yeah, well, it was handguns, dual wielding, or save it is actually what I was deciding, and I decided to save it, so. Ooh. Oh, yeah. What do we got here? Crude Warhammer, 32 damage. Nice. Alright, I'll take this brick. He's a brick. House. He's mighty. Okay, so we got a shotgun. That's nice. Basic servo booster. Gain melee speed for a limited time. That's pretty useful. I only have so many gadgets that I can use, though. Years of study.
Such fond memories of my study years. The Bureau had granted me a scholarship, which I gladly repaid by pledging to work in the Arx Vaporum for a 7-year term.
2 weight-down pressure plates, mostly, Lurkenstein.
When I first arrived on Capital Island, coming from my home at Garian Islet, the astonishing sight of the labs, workshops, and all the machinery took me by storm. It was like Christmas trees covered with shiny cogs instead of balls and ornaments. It was heaven. Lots of folks grumble at the Bureau nowadays for silencing the critics and abusing power, supposedly. In my eyes, the Bureau is doing it right. Technology, order, and science should all be at the heart of society. I am where I am today, amidst the pioneers of the world, only thanks to the Supreme Bureau.
Good God. You can level up and get more.
What a nerd.
What a nerd. More gadget spots. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that only counts as part of a Thama build, though, because I'm not using a Thama build, so. Here's an example of it. What? There we go. God damn it, what? The heck am I missing here? There we go. There we go. Yeah, seriously, Thorg, right? Sprint and jump over it. Yeah, no. Unfortunately. Also, I probably wouldn't be able to do much of that anyway. In, here we go again. I wouldn't be able to do much of that anyway in what do you call it? Don't need that rusty dagger right now. Wait, what? I forget what I was saying. Oh, in this heavy rig. In a heavy rig, probably narratively that doesn't work anyway. Okay. What? Am I missing something? What the hell is this? No. What is the deal with that? Is it just not heavy enough? I bet it's not heavy enough. Well, that's obnoxious. Why is it not heavy enough? Here, that. And that. Really? Only a brick? Only a brick, huh? Only a brick. Basic aim stabilizer. I like the sound of that. Okay.
I need a key.
Requires a silver key and I don't have one. Alright, I better organize this a little bit. So, this is a basic aim stabilizer, so that's potentially useful. I think I'm going to put down here items that I don't need. These are basically going to be the first ones to go, more or less. I already have one of those. So these are going to be down here. Gonna be the first ones to go. Hey, what's up, Chrono Wolf? How you doing, man? Good to see you, man. I will be off in about 5 minutes, as requested, or I mean, as scheduled, whatever. Not as requested. You didn't request anything in particular. You're just going do your schedule thing like you're supposed to, like any normal person would. Alrighty. Ah, this is the waterworks. Or part of them, anyway.
Halfway there.
Halfway there. Of course, I've still got the other side that I didn't quite complete yet. Totally gonna get attacked here. Yep. Oh, a little outro? We'll see, man. I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to do that, but we will see. Let's see. Ooh, critical hit. Nice. Take all. Also bullets, maybe? Yeah, 30 bullets. What do we have here? We got the silver key, which we needed. We got more bullets. And we got a recruit mace, which I already have one of these, so we'll put that down in the... Because I don't think weapons get damaged over time. At least I don't remember reading that they do, and I don't think I've seen anything like that yet. Alright, so... Good, now I just need to get back to where I was. Save it, and then I will give way to Chrono Wolf. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I don't want to jump to conclusions and say how awesome and amazing it's automatically going to be, but it feels like it's likely to do pretty well. Oh, wait a second. Silver key. I know where there was a place that was a silver key. I already did that. Damn it. Right, and then this is here. And this is... Please tell me this is where the key goes. Okay, that's that. Alright, it's halfway there, but it's not all the way there. So when we start next week, I will have to figure out the puzzle over here so I can get across there. But we've done this half of the waterworks. We've got this half, this left side of the waterworks still to do, which is up here and down there and around and all that kind of stuff. But that should be fine. Alright, let's save that. Overwrite. And... Lovely. Okay. Cool, guys. Well, this was a very good time. I am glad that we had a chance to do this. I don't know why my webcam is suddenly out of focus, but I will solve that problem right now because my webcam should be in focus, and I don't know why that was like that. Okay. Good. Yes, so we are going to... I don't know. I'll deal with that later. Anyway, but thank you guys so much for being here. You sent it on to Discord. Let's see. What is the X5 outro? Oh my god, dude. I really appreciate this X5, but I cannot read this whole thing. I can't. I have to make sure that I give enough time for Chrono Wolf. I will summarize if I can. The pixels deilluminate. Quill pen is put away in its inkwell till next week for more Vaporum. 100th episode is finished. Let's hope for 100 more. We congratulate you again with your 100th episode of Pen and Pixels, etc., etc. There's a conspiracy between Admiral Kane and Starfleet to make you fail your missions, but you succeeded perfectly in our eyes. Well, I am glad. Thank you so much. And yes, as he points out at the end, for everyone on planet Earth, have a happy Halloween. And Chrono Wolf returns from TwitchCon playing Something in the Shadows. Thanks, X5. I wish I could do that whole thing, but I really do want to make sure that I get off before here, so that Matt has enough time to get his thing started. But thank you for the epic introduction, X5, which I really appreciated. It was awesome. Thank you. Thank you to everybody else as well in GOG. I hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. And thank you for being with me over the last 100 episodes of this show. I did not know when I started this in September of 2015 how long it was going to last or how much we were going to go over, but we've played a lot of games and done a lot of storytelling and done a lot of analysis and fun with and exploring of stories, which really underpins, I think, human existence. And it's been a lot of fun to be able to do it. I certainly didn't expect to get involved in rap battles either, and we've done that too. So thank you all for being with me on the 100 episodes of Pen and Pixels, and hopefully, as X5 says, 100 more as well. And thanks to all of you for hanging out with me both here and on my channel. Please make sure to follow the channel. Please make sure to sub to GOG, and please make sure to check us out individually as well. Next time you'll see me on my channel will be on Friday, when I will be doing the Masters of the Dungeon, a new DM roundtable with Askren from Exploding Dice, Dave from the Digital DM channel, and Will from Encounter Roleplay. The four of us will be doing a Dungeon Masters roundtable talking about Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. That'll be starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, after which I will continue with my playthrough of The Last Guardian. And next Tuesday, and then on Saturday, there will be D&D with Infinity and Beyond on my channel as well, as we continue the Rise of Tiamat. And then next Tuesday will be the continuation of, there'll be the chat chosen game of the month, which was Loom. Loom actually beat out Elite Force by 1 vote, and I think beat out Lands of Lore by 2. So that will be the chat chosen game of the month on my channel as well. So please make sure to check that out. Now stick around for Chrono Wolf and for Night Howls as he plays the new game In the Shadows as a new release. But thank you all so much for being with me. It's been a pleasure to stream for you, and I look forward to many more in the future. Until I talk to you next time, everyone be good to each other. Have a good night.